everybody, it's Lula. Welcome to 2021. Cheers. And with grace and gratitude, I welcome you into my home. This is a new year. This is a new time. Now, I don't normally go by the Gregorian calendar, as you all know, but at the same time, right now, I feel like it is like a culmination of sorts, right? Because we've just been having so much that's been going on, that it's been really hard for us to, wrap our minds around it. Every day I know for myself has been a completely different experience, a completely different journey, not just with myself, but with my beloved and even Baba and our environment where we live, even our channel. Thanks, you guys. Thank you to the new subscribers. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The last time I checked, we were at 164, which is the number 11. I love it. So yeah, it honestly couldn't be any more perfect for me. So today I've just been doing so many things. I meditated, I danced, I sang, I recorded everything. Spirit had me record so much today. If you see me in the same outfit a lot, yes, I do tend to wear the same outfit for a few days, maybe 3 or 4 sometimes, but I don't sleep in it. Like, I have my sleeping clothes, then I have like my day clothes, but I don't really do anything, and I don't, but anyway, I digress. But anyway, so if you see a lot of videos with me in the same outfit, it's usually the same day. I just record a lot of shit in the same day. But sometimes I'll record in the same outfit twice in 2 days. Anyway, doesn't matter. I'm just so happy to be here, and I'm so grateful for everything. And I love that the theme for 2021 is grace and gratitude, because I think we all need a little grace moving forward, and we need to be we don't need to do anything, but it would be really helpful and beneficial for each of us individually if we had gratitude every single day, even for the hard stuff. Yesterday, Ed texted me. He was off, going to do some stuff, and he texted me about maybe a half hour after he left, and he was like, I'm coming home. He's like, something's wrong with the car. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. I'm like, it's January 2nd, for fuck's sake. And the funny thing was, which I just realized it was 1/2/2021, and it's like 1/2/2/2/1. You know what I'm saying? Like the numbers. Anyway, I've been so into numerology lately. Like, I can't help it. It's everywhere. It's everywhere I look. It's everything I do. It's everything. It's everything. It's everything. I actually was gonna look up at an angel number, but I was 5 places in my head, and so I kind of like paused for a second, but it'll come back around if it's meant to be in a different way of numbers. So I didn't panic. I didn't freak out. And it's funny because I just said to my friend, before that, we were on the phone, and they were going through a challenging time because their significant other, their car was stolen. All their work stuff in and everything, and she's like, oh, happy fucking new year, and I was like, well, I'm like, I know it's hard for us to get, like, it's hard for us to understand, right? It's hard for us to understand when those things happen, because we're just like, why has thou forsaken me? I cannot tell you how many times I have looked up to the sky and said, fuck you. I'm like, I've done everything you asked. Like, I have gone through the gamut. And today, I was lovingly and gently reminded how much our ego can come to play when we think we know better than our higher selves or the universe. And, if you're here on Earth, it's not going to be sunshine and roses all the time, because that's not the world that we're in right now. Even when you're in the 5D energy consciousness, there are still things happening around us. We're not blind to it. We can see what's happening. It doesn't matter whether we delve into the 3D energy or not. We know it's happening. Even if we watch no social media, even unless you never leave your house and you never talk to another person ever, that would be, to me, would be the only way that you could not see or be affected by something in front of you. Because no matter how elevated you are in your consciousness, if you are driving and you see a car accident, and God forbid you see somebody fly out of the car, or you see, it's like, whatever horrific sight you would see, you're still seeing it. You're not going to be like, oh, that's awful. You know what I mean? It's like, unless you have like absolutely no empathy or any compassion for other living beings, right? You'd be, you know, I mean, anybody would feel awe and shock, right? So I kind of just am getting this feeling from Spirit that they want us to keep it in perspective right now, that we are still human. And there is this kind of conspiracy that I feel is going through the spiritual world of, you know, this perfection modification that is just doesn't exist. And the fact that there is imperfection proves that nothing is perfect. And even when people are like, well, God is perfect. God is perfect. I'm like, no. Our creator is not perfect. If they were, we wouldn't have the things that we have. It came to their mind, it came to their thought, right? What does perfect mean? Perfect doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. They're actually having me look at my phone right now. I put the volume down just to make sure. Okay, 1314 angel number on my phone, because that's the time. You like my, look at us. Phoenix rising out of the ashes. Yes, that's what I see when I look at my phone from the 1111 portal. Okay, so, oh, cute. So the first one I saw was, I saw it and then it went away. Hold on, let me see if it'll show. So it's Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, Willie Nelson. One hell of a ride. Ah, thank you, Willie. Thank you, Willie Wisdom. 1315 and 58%, which is the number 13. What? And when I looked down, I said 218, which is the number 11. I love you so much. So, yeah, Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain, right? One hell of a ride. This wasn't a light switch moment. There are no such thing as light switch moments. There are certain things that I feel like are going to be our theme. You know, I do this, right? If you've been following me for more than 1 year, then you know that I have certain things that I do and every year. And one of them is that at the beginning of the year, Spirit gives me animals and energy and words to guide us through the year. And this one, Spirit had me, Spirit's been calling me the white diamond heart. And then I looked up the meaning of white diamond. I'll put the link below, but it blew my mind and it made me really weepy without ego, but with soul knowledge that they love me so much and that's how they see me. And that's what Spirit wanted me to say, that's who you are. You're like a white diamond heart and you're not like other people. Drink water, they said. Also, this isn't about me, but they wanted me to bring back around the ego thing. So when I was having a moment earlier, when I was like dancing and singing, I was like, yeah. And I was like, my moment. All of a sudden, I was, Kenny Loggins' The Danger Zone came on. And it was funny because I was like, like I'm singing, I'm playing with my hair and I'm looking at myself. And I'm going to color my hair soon. So I was kind of like, you know, admiring myself, but almost a little too much, right? Like my peacock was like all out, my tail, and I was like, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. And then Spirit said, highway to the danger zone. And I was like, what are you saying, Kenny Loggins? I'm like, I'm in the danger zone. Should I not be singing or dancing right now? Like and then I heard Spirit was like, ego. And I was like, like we need ego to survive, but we can't live in the ego. That's the danger zone. When we think we know more, when we think we know better, when we try to control others, or we get so lost in our own reflection that we fall in the puddle and drown, right? So I know I told you guys the bear is our masculine energy to work with this year is the bear spirit medicine. For the divine feminine, it's the white alpha wolf. It's not just the wolf, it's the white alpha wolf. And I'll put that link below as well. But it's also the butterfly. And I've been getting so much butterfly stuff, I can't even tell you. Crazy. And then I watched a few readings and they're like, oh, butterflies. And I've been seeing butterflies everywhere. Butterfly this, butterfly that. So, because it's about transformation. We are no longer, I'm just a worm. You know what I mean? We're no longer a caterpillar, you know, in a cocoon. We are out. Our wings like fly. Now, for some of you, you may still be stuck in the cocoon. And we're going to get to that. I'm going to pull from, let me show you. Yay! We're going to pull from the Wild Unknown Archetypes deck, the Witch's Wisdom, the Enchanted Map Oracle deck, and the energy deck. Okay, so we're just going to kind of go with the flow. We're just going to see what happens. I'm going to work with spirit right now and see. By the way, I apologize for my voice. I was singing and dancing like a fool, but not just that, but like right before here, you know, I like to have my little bit of weed before I come on here. And boy, I coughed and I choked like I haven't in years. And when I was growing up as a kid, we used to say, oh shit, it'll come to me, but it was something like if you don't choke, if you don't choke, you don't, something like, meaning like when you choke like that, it's like it really goes in. And it's interesting, instead of being like high, I felt like this elevation, almost like this beautiful energy that was like flowing in my body. It was so powerful. So I was like, cool, but at the same time I'm like, owie, owie. I like when they do stuff like this. It makes me laugh. Oh, I guess that's the first one. I was wondering which was going to be the first deck. So I invoke the power of Reiki energy into my mind, my body, and soul. I send it out all to you as well, my beautiful tribe. I send this beautiful Reiki energy out to you. If you're watching this right now, you have no pain, no suffering, no ailments. You are free from fear. There's no such thing as pain or fear. Release your body from that energy. Oh, do you feel that wind? Thank you, Spirit. I am healed. You are healed. And we take care of ourselves, right? We take good care of ourselves. We take care of ourselves. So, messages from the Enchanted Map Oracle. I love it. Now I was playing with my hair. I've got the Rosanna Dana. When my hair gets a little wild and unkempt. Is that the word? Enchanted map. There I go. Oh, Spirit just said, there you go again. But it's not ego, right? That wasn't Spirit. That was actually peaks of joy. They're like, look at that on the bottom, 33. So we'll have to look up angel number 33. Right? So we have to have the healthy balance of ego, but also not get so lost in it. Sometimes I feel like, at least in the last few months, it's because I look at myself and not just like this, like I get these weird blemishes, but I don't have any makeup on, I don't care. But I don't feel like myself anymore, whatever myself was. Like, I'm still me, but I'm not me. Like, I've changed a lot. I've changed so much that I have a hard time understanding things, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it. It's like I see me, but it's not me. I've actually been thinking about doing like a major makeover. Oh, sorry. Spirit said, and again, me, all about me. I don't mean to make it about me. Okay, so Blue Eyes Crying in the Rain and One Hell of a Ride. We love that. Thank you, Willie. But also, this is our theme. Earlier when I was setting up, Tom Petty came. I love Tom Petty. And started singing Into the Great Wide Open. And so as we go into 2021, this is the message from Spirit. Into the Great Wide Open, a rebel without a clue. Because, you know, he sings, a rebel without a clue. So for some of you, maybe you're feeling like that. Like you want to help or you want to move forward, but you're like not 100% sure why, right? You're like, why should I do this? Why should I... Hold on one second. Okay, sorry about that. It's interesting. Sometimes I watch these back when I'm trying to take notes on what to post below, and I always laugh because I'm like, man, so much shit transpired between that second. For me, anyway. Anyway, so getting back, so much. So I was called to show you guys this. Angel number 1133. Do not dwell on the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. This is something that hangs in my bathroom, a post-it. Well, it's interesting because then I come to sit down, right? And I look down and I see it's 1331, and Spirit has me see this, and it says 1331 is a message from your angels that they are sending you positive energies and boosting your confidence levels. Be sure to pay particular attention to your thoughts, ideas, and insights, as these are giving you information about the next steps to take along your spiritual path. So yeah, lots of downloads. I mean, literally that's all I do all day is just download. I just download information. It's like I'm just like a human computer, and I love it. I love it. It's, you know, part of my mental madness, and I love it. It's wonderful. So we're going to pull some cards. Also, you know, the thing I want to keep talking about as well, because they keep talking to me about it, is this spiritual consciousness. You know, we're talking about the 3D, the 5D, and all these numbers and these terminologies, but, you know, we're in this spiritual warfare of our own spiritual consciousness. And I think this is something that people are not understanding what's happening, and why I think some days I get really frustrated, because I'm like, doesn't everybody see what's happening? Like, we should be all holding hands around the world singing Kumbaya. You know? Because in my world, and that's how it is. Wherever I come from, wherever, I don't know where I come from. You know, I have, I've been having a lot of things with that recently too. I think there's other starseeds like myself that we're not just Palladian, Andromedan, Arcturian, Syrian, Lyrian. I could go on and on. I believe we come from a place that I don't even, I mean, let's put it this way, where like when I get readings, the readers are like, I don't know where you're from. Like, I don't, like, and I said, well, I'm like, I feel like I'm Arcturian. And I think maybe I filter through the Arcturians, but I almost feel like wherever I'm from, like, the Arcturians are our cousins or something, and, like, it's, like, my family. So I was like, cool, I'll come to that galaxy and, like, that part of the universe and, like, hang out with you guys. I know I've been here many times, but I'm saying, like, from the beginning, like, when it started. So, you know, who are you? Like, what are your gifts? Like, what are your purpose? I love this. I'm going to read it again, because sometimes paraphrasing is great, but sometimes you really need to hear it. So really listen to this. Be sure to pay particular attention to your thoughts, ideas, and insights, as these are giving you information about the next steps to take along your spiritual path. Okay, so in one sense, they're talking about that, and the other sense, they're talking about concentrating our mind on the present. It seems confusing, right? But that is being mindful of your spiritual path, is being present. Because if you're present, then you are clear and you're open to like whatever's coming at you as you're moving forward. We're moving forward, and we're going to keep moving forward really quickly. You're going to see a lot of things dissolve really quickly. You're going to see just a lot of shit's going to happen. A lot of shit's going to happen. If this was another day or in time, you'd be seeing some really graphic stuff like out in the market square of people being tortured, murdered. Like, just there's some. So just take it with a grain of salt. Stay in your high vibration as much as possible. And let's see. So Spirit, into the great wide open of 2021. What messages do you have from... Ooh, they said, oh, I love it. That was the one we saw at the beginning, the Peaks of Joy. Oh, and they said, do it like, you know, like when you're showing somebody like, you know, like a kind of like a slideshow. So I'm seeing it the first time, you are too. So let's see how this goes. Peaks of Joy, number 33. Isn't that beautiful? Look at how happy that person is, that soul. And is that a butterfly or a bird? Oh, it's a butterfly, of course. The first card we pull of 2021 is 33, Peaks of Joy, and a butterfly coming at her. I mean, come on. And just so you know, my mug, I normally have this out, but it's got a butterfly. I've talked about this before, but this is the one that wanted to come today. And when I picked it up earlier, it was showing the butterfly. Drink some water, stay hydrated. Okay, right? So that right there is just amazing. Okay, so Peaks of Joy. I'm going to put them down there. Spirit of Place, number 4. Ooh, that's interesting. 3, 4. Spirit of Place. And this is the fae, the fairies. Look at the butterfly on her face. Their face. I don't want to say her, because it's androgynous, really. But look at that. Look at that fairy energy. Is that a... And I believe, I haven't looked at this one in the book in a long time, but I think they talk about art too and being creative, which would make sense. So for some of you, like, maybe you really like to put makeup on and get in costume, cosplay, whatever that is, like, do it. And if that means you want to live that way every day, so be it. You know what? The conformity that has been rampant on this planet for a long time is really got to go. You know, you should be able to dress any way you want to dress and look any way you want to look any day of the week. You should be able to love, fuck, have fun with. You should be able to do whatever you want with love in your heart, obviously, with grace and gratitude, right? Without anyone telling you who you are or what you should look like. Look at that beautiful, it's just a beautiful, creative energy. I mean, it's beautiful. So go to this place. That's where you find your peaks of joy. Okay, so what's the next one? Metamorphosis? What? Come on! Spirit, I love you so much right now. Oh my gosh. Number 25, which is also the number 7. It's also the quarter of a century, right? So for some of you, maybe you're turning 25 this year, or maybe 25 is a big component, or maybe I'm in my 50th year, even though I just turned 49. Technically, I'm in my 50th year. So for me, this is like half my life, right? So who were you at 25? What were you trying to... This is a specific message for some of us. Like, who did you want to be when you were 25? At 25. This is really important. This means something. But it's also the number 7. So it could be like, what did you want to be when you were 7? A lot of people know this. A lot of you who are my regular clients, you know, I had this, I was working at Psychic Sister. I want to share a story through really quick. But I was working at Psychic Sister in Olympia, Washington. And I had this freakish day of awesomeness where every single person that I read for was, they were 25 or they were turning 25. It was like everything was about 25. It was wild. And I think I read for like 6 or 7 people. So it was so neat. And I got to share like my story with them about being 25. Because I remember I was like, wow, a quarter of a century. Just because people are saying it. And, you know, and again, it's kind of programming. But at the same time, it was kind of exciting. Because I thought to myself, oh yeah, I remember like what I thought, you know, when I was young, when I was 7. Like, what did 25 look like to me? So we're going through a major metamorphosis, a major change. And of those of you who are in astrology, please let me know if this means anything for 2021 either. If this means anything, okay? Because it's also 2021 is the number 5. Oh, this is really interesting. They just showed me this. They're like, look at this. It's like 2, 3, 4, 5. Like going in order, right? Like going in... Ooh, I better be careful with that. I pressed too hard and I paused on accident. Oops. I don't want to hit the stop button. No, it's on pause. I'll stay there. Ooh. Metamorphosis. Okay, so what's the next one? Stuck in the mud. Number 24. Uh-oh. And I don't like to use the term uh-oh, but you know what I heard from Spirit? That's what they were kind of saying. Don't go backwards. Don't go backwards. What did this say? Do not dwell in the past. Do not dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. Okay, so that's really powerful, right? Stuck in the mud. Look at the bird. And I almost feel like the bird, too, is trying to, like, show him, like, the bird's like, hey, no, we're supposed to go this way. Hey, come on, turn around. I'm going to call him, I'm going to call him Sheldon. We're going to call him Sheldon. So this is Sheldon, right? I love Shelly. So let's just say this is Sheldon. And he's stuck in the mud because he wants to go the way he wants to go. He's stubborn. And he's like, I want to go this way. And the bird's looking at him going, or the bird's actually turned away from him, right? And he's going, no, we got to go this way. We got to go this way. Look at the moon's even telling us. The moon's pointing this way. We got to go this way. We got to go this way. But if you are stuck in this old world and this old energy and you refuse to move forward, you are going to be miserable. I guarantee you, you are going to be miserable. I've been noticing when I get into these patterns of fear or I'm sad about anything whatsoever, it's because I'm going through something that doesn't exist anymore. And it's because that energy can't exist in this energy. And because this energy that we live in now is moving so much quicker, you're going to go through it quicker, but only if you allow yourself to. If you get stuck in the mud and you stay in that same place, then that's where you're going to be. And for some of you, I know you've been texting me, calling me, and some of you, you keep texting me. I love you. I'm not trying to ignore you to be mean. It's because you're stuck in the mud somewhere and you need to work through that, and I can't be there for you right now. Right? Because you are a powerful healer, you are a powerful leader, you are a powerful warrior. You have to lead by example. We are the same. So until you move yourself out of the mud, until you decide to pick up your feet and move, you're going to be stuck there, right? So don't dwell on the past. Also, for some of you, you know it, you don't want to hear it, but you know it's time for you to move forward, and you don't want to hear it, but you need to hear it because it's true. Okay. Goblins, number 5. Oh, we just said it was a 5-year. I'm going to read this card to you guys because this is exactly what I was just talking about, but you need to hear it from the book. You know, I just realized something. I moved around my space yesterday and I do not remember seeing my glasses. They're probably somewhere really cool. Oh, I almost opened up right to it. Okay, so here we go. Fear is an illusion. Choose love today. Forgive yourself and others. Goblins are born when you're wounded and something essential is lost in that experience. It's also on page number 13, which that came up earlier too. If that keeps hitting for you, look up angel number 13. I mean, hi, we looked at 1133 and 1313. I mean, come on. So from that point on, as you forget your wholeness, they remain with you in the shadows. There they remind you of what brought them into being. By mimicking your own voice, tricking you into believing that you're unworthy, that you're victimized or unlovable. They hold you hostage through low self-esteem, self-sabotage, and the feeling that you're lacking what you need. If goblins pay you a visit, know that they represent the shadow of your own self or someone else's, and that they're leading you into a potentially reactive situation. A goblin's card's appearance is an opportunity for growth, however, and a signal that you must love yourself. No human is without flaws. The goblin's message is that you must release resentments and negative self-talk. Within you is the spark of the divine. Ask Spirit to help heal you. Miracles can and do happen. Let go of the negativity. All right. I love you guys so much. I love you so much. But I am at the point where it actually almost physically hurts for me to be in a negative place. I start to physically, I am not the same. If you knew me even a week ago, I am not the same. I have been changing and progressing rapidly. So if I'm not talking to you, I'm not responding, it's because at this point we are just not on the same, we're just not in the same place, okay? It's because these goblins, they're self-inflicted. And I don't want you to suffer anymore. Spirit doesn't want you to suffer anymore. There's only so many times that you can get signs and whatever, but it's until you actually change, not to point, but until you actually change, until you actually move forward, you are not going to be doing your divine purpose. End of story. Now this card always has an upright and a reversed. I like to read both because we're reading for a lot of people. Some of this is gonna resonate with you guys and some of it isn't, right? So in the reversed it says, it's often difficult to deal with someone else's issues because they impact your own. No one is perfect. But in this case, you're particularly vulnerable to being manipulated. Don't take this world personally. When the Goblin's card arrives reversed, it's a sign to step back with detachment. Don't let other people's stuff lead you into reacting from an old wound. Love yourself unconditionally. Set boundaries and your goblins will fall asleep. Love is the only answer. And, I love this because the one thing that I was hearing a lot from people over the last several months is, I'm not going to do that. Or, no, I'm not going to leave that person. Or, oh, I'm not going to, I can't quit my job. I have to. And just excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse, or playing the victim of I'm the one, or blah, blah, blah. But so many times, I'll say to you guys, if you took you out of, a lot of times I hear from people that they're telling me all of this information. I'm like, hey, what's up with you? Or what's going on with you? And all I hear about is other people's stuff. And I'm like, well, what's going on with you though? Like, how are you feeling? And like, where are you in your life right now? Like, what do you want to do? Is that where you want to be? And we've tethered ourselves to our friends, our family, our significant other. And when we do that, we lose sight of ourselves. We lose sight of who we are. My partner and I were going through that over the last week or so. The weather's been horrendous. And he is so good at like manifesting work for himself. But when the weather's really bad and, he puts out into the universe, like, put me in a garage or a warm space. When things don't go for him, we know like he's meant to be in here. When we're both meant to be in here, we know it's meant for us to learn to coexist, but also to really talk about things. Like we've had so many like heartfelt conversations, and you're seeing everywhere people, are breaking up. People are getting together and then, breaking up and all these, right? Because we're all going through so much right now and we're all trying to navigate like water. We're just like going with the flow. But when we, I understand what it feels like to be lonely, but I understand, some of you are saying, I've had a few people are like, oh, well, but you're not single. I'm like, well, I was single though. I was single for a very long time. And over the summer, my significant other and I did break up. And so I was alone for almost 3 months during the pandemic. And I actually was happy. I felt so good. I never felt so strong, right? Because as much as I loved them, they were really weighing me down. And I moved through things really, really quickly. And they moved through things at their own pace, which is not as quickly as me. And so my ego was getting involved. There was so much shit that was happening. But what I did realize was that I didn't need them as much as I thought I needed them, and that actually I was flourishing without their energy in my life. It didn't matter how I felt about them. It's like I had to do what I had to do. And then now over the last 4 months, we've been through so much in that short period of time. I mean, we must have lived 10 relationships in that 4 months, right? Because every single day we've been challenging ourselves and each other to rise above everything that we need to get to the higher plane that we need to work from. If you're on this channel, I've said this before, you're part of this tribe, 3221. If you're part of this tribe, you know that we don't play, right? Like we are leaders, we are starseeds, we are the panda warriors. Panda is a bear. We talked about the bear is our masculine energy that we're working with this year. Well, the panda is a bear. So we need to work with our divine masculine and our divine feminine right now. And if that needs to be singularly, then it does. And when we live in a household with other people, especially right now, a lot of people are in lockdown again, we need to take that time and we work together. And that's when you find out, right? That's when we really find out not only what we're made of, but what the person that we're with is made of, what our family and friends are made of. This is no more like, let's like gloss it over. Oh, we've been friends for years, so who cares? Or, oh, you're my, family, so you get to talk to me this way or treat me this way, No. It's like, all of a sudden I realized I'm like, I am free. I don't, nothing, nobody, you know what I mean? Like, we come into this world alone and we leave this world alone, And I know that sounds very archaic, but it's very true. Even if you die with somebody else, at that same second, you're still going to go off into your whatever, and they're going to go off into their whatever. When you're born into this world, you're born into that mother, a family, possibly, maybe just a single parent, who knows, but you're born and it's like, and your world begins. But we all come into this world knowing that we have an expiration date. Nobody's going to live forever here. That's not the way that the human system works here on Earth. But living alone, being alone, all of those things, being with someone else, we're all at different places. So I'm not going to tell you what is best for you. All I can say is that if you find yourself in ego traps or victim mentality, or start asking yourself questions. I'm sure we'll get more cards, but start asking yourself questions, right? Like, you're going into the great wide open of 2021. We're not a rebel without a clue, right? It's like, you can look at it two ways. Spirit just showed me. I like that, actually. Thank you, Tom Petty. A rebel without a clue, right? So you can look at it like, you know, you're like this fierce, you know, rebel, like you want to like whatever, but you don't know what to do. Like you don't know what to do. Or, you know, they say you're a rebel without a clue. And it's like, am I a rebel without a clue? Right? Because they look at us as like, they're clueless. They don't know anything. Like I know growing up, I was like, I was this, I was that. Or when I started, you know, putting tattoos on my arms and my mom was like, you know, you're not going to get a real job and all this stuff and all these limitations. And I realized in the last like year for sure, I loved 2020 as much as 2020 was a motherfucker. I feel like 2020 became my bitch, and I like stepped into 2021 and I was like, I am ready. I am all in. We got this. I understand now like what's going on. And once you really understand that this archaic system that was not built for us, that is not ours, once you start to really understand how free you are, that's when everything starts to open up for you. The patterns that I've been falling into are so ingrained in me. And when and I'm telling you right now, most likely the stuff that you're dealing with is from your childhood. It's our inner child right now that wants to be playful. It's like we need both sides of us. We need the playful child, and then we need, you know, the adult that says, you know, hey, you know what, enough's enough. Like, yeah, of course you can have a cookie or two. That's, you know, enjoy life, but don't eat the whole bag, right? Because it's going to make you sick. You're not going to feel good. It's going to make you feel depressed. It's like cause and effect. We need to really start looking at cause and effect. Look at this one. So we could be flying, baby. Number 20. Number 2. I love it. Okay. Look at this. Oh, I love it. This is so great. This is so great, you guys. Oh my gosh. She said, look at the next one. Oh, number 21. Field of Dreams. Look at that. Right? Once you let go of the past and let go of everything that happened, you can live in and fulfill your field of dreams. What do you want when you're in dream time? So I think it's interesting that, and I've had this deck a long time, so I think it's interesting that we have 20, 21, 24, and 25. Right? And it's interesting. They had me hold it up like this for a second because, like, look at this. It's like, wee! I'm flying. But I feel like, because this one I'm like, oh, they're saying, oh, okay. They're saying, okay. Maybe some of you got it already, but you'll get it in a minute. So, see how here it's like you're progressing. Right? Spirit's trying to show you, like, you're progressing, things are good, but you don't want to believe it, right? You're flying away from your field of dreams by staying stuck in a rut, right? So instead of flying away from your dreams, from your field of dreams, they want you to walk towards your metamorphosis. This is it. This is your metamorphosis. This is it. You are the butterfly. You are the spirit. Right? Peaks of joy. I mean, come on. And I love this. So if you look at it like this too, we've got 20, 21. I did it again. But it's 38, 27, angel number. So 20, 21, 33. Okay, so this is what they want to show me. 3, 4, 2, 3, right? Stay in the progression. I see what you're saying. Yeah. So they're saying stay in the progression. Keep moving forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Keep moving forward. 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 Don't look back. Looking back what is it really going to do for us, right? If we're going to look back, like I mean, the only way to look back, or in my experience, the best thing is to, if you're working on something, then sure, you know, oh, look at that. One Ring Circus, 15. They're saying for some of you, this is why you're having a hard time focusing. And why you're the rebel without a clue, because you're in a one-ring circus. Maybe you're, a parent, you have a business or you work and, like your kids are homeschooled right now and you're trying to do your job and you're just feeling like, I can't. You just feel like a one-ring circus, right? So you climb up to the top of interesting, another elephant, by the way. Look up elephant spirit animal. We had elephant as our spirit animal, I think like 4 or 5 years ago for the year. But clearly the elephant wants to come in. So, it's like the elephant has so many different meanings. But the one thing is elephants don't forget things, and they are, they're strong-willed, and they will get to their goal. If they have to walk 100 miles, they will get there. They are determined, and they're extremely intelligent. They always say they have such small eyes, but they have such deep souls. Like if you look into the eye of an elephant, they have like one of the deepest, like you can see their soul, your soul, you can see the universe. Also, it's the number 6. And the 15, I feel like means something to some of you guys. So maybe it's your birthday, or there's something coming up on the 15th. Oh, I think the new moon's around the 15th this month. I haven't started my calendar yet. Anyway, they're saying you're in control of that circus, though. You're in control of that circus. You can ask for help and find ways that are really helpful to you. Oh, look at this. Ride the wave, 14, look at that. Which is before the other one, 15, right? Again, about progression. So ride the wave that you're on. Don't go back to, like so many people are like, oh, I'm going to be so happy when kids go back to school, or oh, I'm going to be so happy when this happens, or oh, I'm going to be so happy when that happens. It's like, just be happy now, because you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know what's going to happen. None of us know exactly what's going to happen. So being present in the moment is all we have. It's all we have. And trust me when I tell you, I had days on end in this sweet little, big camper, or 26 by 10 foot space. And I don't even really include a big chunk of that, because half of it's the bathroom and the other half is my big workspace where like the driving and the passenger seat were. So it's like we really only had this bit of space and then like the canopy up here where we sleep. But we had, I don't even know, so many days that it was like in a row, 4 or 5, and it was like me, Ed, and Bubba. And so I may not have children, but those of you who know my cat and know my familiar Bubba, because I post videos of her, she will be like, meow, 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 and she'll come up to us and be like, and she'll just like, when we're like, whatever, she'll run and jump, she'll go and she'll start scratching things and like, like a 2-year-old. And sometimes it'll, like, we had one day, it was so bad, and she like yells at us as if we can change the weather. I mean, we could probably put a lot of energy into it, but I'm like, why would we? That's not part of, you know what I mean? Like, the weather doesn't just affect us. I don't know why the weather is happening the way it is at that moment. It's for multiple people. But we've had days where like we'll just like laugh and we're like looking at each other, because she will go nonstop for like an hour, and she doesn't want to go outside. She doesn't want to, and it's like she's angry at us. Like she's like, do something, And I'm like, I don't know. And I remember in the beginning, he'd be like, I've never seen an animal act like that. I'm like, I know, because she's not an animal. She's a person who's in a cat who's just miserable and wants to take it out on everybody. So I may not have children, but I do have an animal that is not like your typical animal. Anyway, I digress. So take a drink of water. Go take a bathroom break if you need to. Pause it. Come back. Let's see. Where are we going next? Should we go to this one next? Ooh, I think we're in the order that we're going to be going. And yay! So Spirit, what is the energy that we're working with for 2021? Ooh, I just got the chills. Oh, this is going to be a fun one. Whenever I get the chills like that, I know it's going to be good. Okay, so what is our energy for 2021? Now, I know we talked about discipline and grace and gratitude and the bear, and we've talked about the white alpha wolf. What other energies do you want to, what into the great wide open, rebel without a clue? Give us some clues of the energy that we are to anticipate in the next year, from 365 days from today on Earth right now. Today, this is timeless always, but this is January 3rd, 2021, Sunday, in where I live. Okay. Energy. Ooh. Cornucopia number 11. Oh, I love this book. I'm going to read these because even though this is self-explanatory, Oh, look at the plethora of goodness. Look at the harvest coming in for us in 2021. I love this card. I'm going to read it because it's just so pretty. Like I said, sometimes these writers, they're channeling, and so I want to hear what the message is from the divine. And look at that light right there. Beautiful. Cornucopia, wishes fulfilled. An abundant harvest and great blessings are waiting for you, and you may even find all your wishes fulfilled. This cornucopia of gifts from the universe can come in the form of financial riches, job fulfillment, romantic love, or all of the above. When you receive the cornucopia upright, you know that you've done important work and it's about to pay off. Woo! Look at us, tribe, kicking ass and taking names. Thank you, Spirit. What? The seeds you've planted in your energy and in your life are ready to be harvested in some significant ways. Get ready for a great feast of abundant value is being prepared for you now, and Spirit is applauding all of your effort. Okay. Sometimes I read the reverse because we need to hear it, and Spirit is saying no because they want you to stay in this mindset. Because even up until this moment, we can change at any given time. That is our beautiful gift, blessing that we were given, was free will. So you are going to decide how your year goes, right? Whatever happens for a reason. The interesting thing is, Edward had to get some parts for his car, right? He had it towed back. Blessed be, he's a mechanic, right? So out there, pouring rain. It was awful yesterday. It was one of those days where you're just like, oh my gosh. The thought that he had to be out there is one thing, but the thought that he was out there for hours on end working on the car was, at least he has rain gear and stuff, but still, I just felt so bad for him. And when he came in, he was like, oh, I need this part or that part or whatever. And he's like, I can rig it to this and that. And I was like, you're a magician. So then he goes, hey, look. And he goes, the exact model, because the car that we have is like over 20 years old, and not like the color, the model, whatever. Long story short, he's like, hey, I found a bumper that matches our car, and it's needed a new bumper. It's a long story, but that's how we got it. And it was totaled. And he's like, I think we can, bring it back to life. It still has some life in that engine. And so he's worked on it off and on for a long time, and we couldn't sell it. And then our car died, and so we took it over. Well, recently I said, I have a feeling we're supposed to buy a new car. And I said, I feel like, this and that. And he was like, okay. And so when it broke down yesterday, I said, I'm like, I'm telling you, and the stimulus money came in, all these blessings happened all at once, right? And I was like, wow, I'm like, that's really rad. I'm like, maybe we can, put money into it, and then, we can sell it and get a better car for us, So long story short, he hasn't looked for parts because that isn't moving, and getting a new place has been our agenda, not the car. As long as it runs, we don't care if it looks like Frankenstein, you know what I mean? It runs good. That's all that matters. It gets us from point A to point B. We don't care. And he was like, hey, but if that hadn't happened, we have AAA, and he's like, it's a good thing it was so close to home. And I was like, yeah, right. And he's like, and we still have one tow left. I'm like, that's rad. So it may have seemed like a negative thing, and it kind of sucks that he was out in the rain yesterday having to deal with that. But when he came in, he looked, and now he found that part. And it was a really good, fair price. And I was like, well, then, I'm like, buy it. I'm like, if that's what you feel like, And so sometimes, even in the, look at the sun. Look at Ra. I love you, Ra. Ra's doing some cool stuff, right? Because Ra is illuminating that for us, to remember that the cornucopia is always there for us. It's just, what are you looking at? Are you looking at which wolf are you feeding? Are you feeding the dark wolf, or are you feeding the white alpha wolf, right? Because the white alpha wolf, she's a powerful energy. She's a powerful entity. And I'll put the link below for it, but you have to go and check out, just the whole page is really rad. And when I was looking, when Spirit told me that the wolf was our divine feminine energy to work with in 2021, I just thought, oh, okay. So I just put in, I started to put in wolf spirit medicine, and then Spirit had me put in feminine or I don't remember what word, but whatever it was, it came out the white alpha. And then when I saw it, I just got the chills, and I read the whole thing, and I was like, wow, super powerful. So that's the energy that Spirit wants us to channel right now, because as the female and the feminine divine is rising back up into place, we're, bringing back down that kind of destructive patriarchal energy of the divine masculine. That doesn't mean that we want to completely diminish the divine masculine, because it's part of us and we need it. We are all here for a reason. There's a balance. We all have our place here. So, not everything is bad. Sometimes it's, exactly what we need when we need it. So the cornucopia, thank you, Spirit. And let's see what other, I got the chills. Are you guys having it? Yeah, right? Like, I love when they come in like this. Sometimes I don't know, like today I was like, why are we set up like this? Like, why is it like this? But I don't question anymore. I mean, I question, I guess I do, but then they always like show me why, right? Because we're illuminating. Okay, so what other energies do you want to talk to us about? What other energies for 2021 do you want us to focus on? Joy. Whoa. Okay, I guess we don't need any of those. Okay, Spirit. Wow. Patience. Yes. Wow. Number 16. My mom always said, don't pray for patience, because God will show you what it means. And look at that. Oh, and also Archangel Michael came through when we were reading the cornucopia. Also, all of the archangels came through. Really powerful. Whichever archangel you talk to, you work with, you may work with multiple, but they are talking to you and they're getting louder in your head. They said you can hear them. Yes, that's them. They want you to know that, yes, that's them. Yes, that's them. The archangels are always working with us, but for some of you in particular, if you get heavy archangel energy, it's time for you to step up into your leadership role now, right? Like, what did you come here to do? What did you come here to do? You know it, you know it, you know it, right? That's where your cornucopia lies. And some of you, you need to get out of that corporate world or out of, whatever that is, because it's not working for you. And they're also saying, this is no shame or anything, but they're just saying, you know the truth behind it. And that's specific for some people. You know exactly what they're saying. So, and this could be with your job, significant others, whatever, but they're not asking you to pray for patience. They're asking you to be patient with the planet right now as it's evolving, right? Like in our minds, this is nirvana. We're in nirvana. We got our cornucopia of goodness, right? We've got archangels looking over us. I mean, look at that, beautiful. I mean, it's so androgynous too. They're also drawing my eyes to that. First, because I don't have my glasses on, they look like icicles, but then they look like flowers. So they want us to remember that for some of us, you're in the southern hemisphere, you are, it's summertime. So the flowers are beautiful. It's the beginning of summer. Everything's in bloom and bright and glowy and lovely. Or maybe you live in a place where it's flowery. But then for some of us, I saw icicles actually. Icicles is the first thing I saw. So I'm hearing like the snow queen, like the snow white queen. I'm hearing something about snow and white and the queen. So maybe she's the snow queen. But also look what's in their hands. It's a clock. So when they're saying to have patience, it's because the people who are still stuck in the 3D, our friends, family, whatever, that are still stuck in that energy, maybe you're still living in the same house with them, or you're still going to the same job, or whatever, until you've shifted your life. They're saying you have to remember that their time is going much slower than yours. In your mind, you're already over here, and they're still stuck over there. And so they're just kind of like showing you that if you have patience with some people, they're going to come through for you. But for other people, they're not going to come through. And they're saying, so you can be as patient as you want to be, but it may not happen as soon as you want it to. And then you're just going to keep living in your like perpetual like Groundhog Day of like the same shit, different day. And you'll tire of it. Because you're going to feel frustrated. And when you have those days where you're like, fuck, or you're just so frustrated and you're whatever, and like, I feel you. I could feel it right now in my body. I could feel you. Ooh, let it go. Whew, let it go. It's not yours. It's theirs. But, ooh, my whole body is tense. And why would you want to be like that? Stretch it out. Do yoga. get out of there, get out of there, get out of there, even if it's temporary. Some people need a major shakeup for them to understand. Okay, Spirit, what other energies? So we've got illumination with the cornucopia, and we have patience. What other energies in 2021 do you want us to focus on, or what other energies are going to be present for us? Attachment, number 5. Oh, and we're in a 5-year. Look up angel number 5, spirit number 5, 5-number medicine, whatever terminology feels good to you. And I want you to really research it. I know we've talked about it a lot today. I know that, 2021 comes to the number 5. But attachment, this is people, places, things. Spirit already told me, like, I need to go through, like, more stuff again. I got to purge more again. I was like, gosh, I've purged so much. But they're like, no, you need to keep purging because we're not the same people. We're not going to be doing the same things. We're not going to be around the same situations. Things aren't going to go back the way they were because people are going to start to understand that what used to be 5518, angel number, look it up, what used to be no longer exists. So it's like they're giving me the analogy of you can have a memory of something, but you can't go into the memory and go relive it all over again. I mean, you can in your mind, right? You can have a fantasy world of how you wished it had gone and what the end result would have been, but coulda, woulda, shoulda, right? Work with the second chakra. That's our sacral chakra. Sacral chakra, orange. Work with the color orange. That's the Archangel Ariel. It's also the number 36, which is also the number 9. I also heard for some of you, like you're 36 or you're going into your 36th year. And this is a very significant time for you. For some of you. I know we change every 7 years, but this is, for some of you, something major is happening. Oh, I just got the chills. So I don't know who this is for. And anytime, if you ever feel comfortable enough to share your story, please, mention it below because it does help other people. So work with the second chakra. We are going to read this. Spirit wants to give you the message that was downloaded to the creator of this deck. And it's about intimacy and creativity. That's once we wake up that sacral chakra. That's why I did a lot of dance and music videos today, right? Because we want to shake it up. We want to shake it up. We want to loosen up this energy because when our stomach gets tight, when our sacral chakra gets tight, that's when we are blocked. Our creativity is blocked. Our intimacy is blocked. Our love is blocked. I've been having these really interesting conversations with my beloved about intimacy. And I said, people think that sex is intimacy. And I'm like, it's not. I'm like, actual real intimacy is being able to lay there with somebody completely naked and not touch each other. That's intimacy. And that movie Premature that I spoke about earlier, there's a scene with that in the beginning, and Edward and I were like kind of talking, and I said, I almost feel like I shouldn't be watching this. I'm like, because I feel like I was watching someone's moment, like watching them watching them fall in love. And I said, I just felt like I shouldn't be there, I'm like, that's so intimate. But at the same time, it was really beautiful. And I was so grateful because I saw the way he was watching the scene, and then he would look at me, and then I started asking questions. And then we ended up having this amazing conversation about intimacy. And we had this breakthrough moment about our relationship and with his sex addictions and the difference between, the true difference between sex and intimacy, and that intimacy isn't just about sex, right? So, further explore intimacy in your relationships with others, but definitely with the intimacy with yourself. What kind of intimate relationship do you have with yourself? When's the last time you stood completely naked in front of a mirror? Completely naked. No makeup, no hair, maybe freshly out of the shower. Just you and you. This is your beautiful vessel that your spirit resides in. We love our bodies wherever they are. It doesn't matter if we have extra weight on us. It doesn't matter if we're thin, Who is your, when you are looking in the mirror, who do you see? What do you see? Look in the mirror. Look in your eyes. I remember when I was going through a lot of my stuff that there were many times where I would cry when I would look at myself in the mirror, when I'd get that challenge to look in the mirror or to really, really look into my eyes. Intimacy is a real thing, and Ariel wants us to work with that. Okay. Wow. I'm like, we didn't even get to the reading and I just got such a huge download there. Beautiful. And thank you, Spirit. And thank you for allowing me to share my story with you. The second chakra vibrates in the energy of the beautiful angel Ariel. She sends a bright orange energy promoting inspired creativity and greater comfort with intimacy. When this card appears upright, it's urging you to get creative. Let yourself reach out into unexplored areas of self-expression and new projects that may have a more creative approach. I like that. Let yourself reach out into unexplored areas of self-expression and new projects that may have a more creative approach. Yeah, like maybe you've always wanted to paint, or maybe you want to play with crayons. Like when you're a kid and you love crayons, like, get more creative. That's just one facet. There's so many ways to be creative. Maybe get in the kitchen, maybe work with essential oils. And I love to buy lotions or certain things that I can like create on my own. I get like unscented or like nothing in them, like natural, organic. And then I take my essential oils and I'll put different ones in different bottles, because maybe this day I'm feeling lang lang and other days I'm feeling frankincense, or maybe I want a little bit of both, right? That kind of thing. Because the more you get creative with that, you also get more creative with your self-care. Maybe you were raised that self-care was waking up, brushing your teeth, taking a shower, and, X, Y, and Z, right? But I feel like Spirit's giving us a new definition. Sorry, there's a lot going on around here right now. They're saying, yeah, goodbye with the old, in with the new, right? Maybe there's something you've wanted to practice. Dry brushing was something that really like helped me last year, especially for those of us that are in the northern hemisphere or in colder climates. Just getting we forget that our skin is an organ and that it needs attention. So dry brushing, you can even dry brush with your hands and your fingers. Like right now, do you ever do that? It's like you can feel it like go through all throughout your body. It's just like reminding yourself that you're alive, right? Like that you're alive. And so it's connecting you with your higher self, with your earthly being. That's very intimate, getting really close and personal with your body. So those are just a few suggestions. This is also a time when the energies of closeness with others and nurturing yourself can flow more freely. You can now open yourself to the emotional intimacy that may be coming your way. So nurture yourself and be ready to receive the affection and camaraderie of the resonant souls around you. Oh, I like that. That's nice. And they're saying, no, we don't need to read the other one. Okay, so that's wonderful. Thank you, Ariel. What other energies or messengers want to come through to talk to us about 2021 and any energies that they want us to deal with? Okay, number 31. I love this card. Door to value. Right? What do you value? Is it flying out the door or is it coming into your door? How do you perceive this card? It's like a Rorschach. I think that Rorschach is the name of it. The inventor of those ink blots that, helps people to see what they see in the imagery. So it's like, what do you see in this image? It's interesting because when I'm looking at it, it looks backwards 30. It looks like 13, but it's also the number 31. And we've been talking about that 1313. The 31 energy, the 1133, the door to value. They're asking me to read this card too as well. Oh, upright and reverse, they said. So there we go. 31, door to value, new beginnings in finance or career. This card shows a door with a gold coin on it, opening to a place that's filled with light and bright potential. Money, coins, and jewels fly towards you through the open door, revealing a golden city beyond. Ooh. Sometimes I see these cards for the first time, even though I've seen them many times, and I know that they've said that before too, but I still can't help but look at it and go, hold on, and look at the gold city. Like, I'm like, that's right, I forgot there is like a gold city in there. So go ahead and look at it. Look at that little city back there. All of this points to the potential for exciting new beginnings or expansions where work or money are concerned. Perhaps a new opportunity is totally unexpected, or perhaps it's something you've been working toward for quite a while. Either way, keep your eyes wide open for this new beginning to appear in your life. Know that anything you value may be open to you now. Remain conscious and creative and get ready to step through the door. Nice, yes. Now, the imagery in the reverse, I always like to have people look at it because it's like, what do you see? Because I'm going to read the reverse. It says, this card reverse signifies a partial or perhaps even potentially complete closing of the door. The hoped for new opportunity where money or career is concerned may be delayed or possibly even derailed. Don't be disheartened, however. This card reversed reminds you, hold on. I'm going to do this right. I'm going to do this right. Maybe I need to hold it from another angle. Don't be disheartened, however. This card reminds you not to put all your eggs in one basket. Diversify your interests and your efforts and let your intuition guide you to the next open doorway. In the meantime, open your heart and your mind to the other sources of value in your life. Money is a commodity, but so are time. Money is a commodity, but so are time, tranquility, and love. Choose to open the doors of these wonderful experiences yourself and find real value there. Yes. And it has an affirmation. And the affirmation says, my life is opening to endless possibilities of prosperity. The river of abundance flows freely through my door, bringing me unlimited wealth. Take a screenshot if you can. There's the affirmation. Or pause it and write it down and put it on a post-it for yourself. That's really powerful. And also gratitude. You know, when you wake up in the morning, say thank you, thank you, thank you. When you go to bed, you know, having gratitude, bringing so much like love into your heart as much as possible. I love myself. I love other people. When I'm having a really dark day, which right towards the end of the year, even after even after everything, I still was having these moments of doubt and these moments of, you know, which is funny because they were talking about that because I said something to Ed, because I'm like, I haven't done a paid reading in like over a month, which is so weird for me. And it's only happened like maybe one other time. And in fact, I think it was like 6 weeks. I mean, I've read for a few people here and there. I know that they'll get me when they can, but other than that, like I haven't, you know. And so I was just kind of like, I'm like, what's happening? I'm like, maybe I shouldn't do this. I'm like, maybe I should stop my YouTube channel. I'm like, do you realize? I'm like, it's going to be 3 years since I've had my YouTube channel in January. And I said, and I'm like, I have, and I think at that time I had just a little over 160 subscribers. And I was like, I've seen people that have like 100 subscribers go to like 10,000 subscribers and to 100,000 subscribers in like a year, you know. And I was going through all this stuff. And then I thought to myself, but I'm not like everybody else, and I'll get there when I get there, or I won't, like, or that won't be the way I get there. You know what I mean? And I know things are changing because people are where they are, and I know like I'm ready for new people now and new clients and new community. You know, I mean, of course, my clients, my regular clients, you're always welcome, of course, but I'm saying like in terms of like if we're not meant to work together right now, it's like I'm not your person anymore, or I'm not your person right now, or you know, it just means like this is where I need to be. Like I've been going through my own growing stuff and whatever. When this money came in, I was down to my last few dollars and I was starting to get kind of like, this is not cool. You know, I mean, Ed always takes care of me, but I'm saying like, you know, just feeling good about myself, my own money, my own earnings. And then all of a sudden, like I just started to get this overwhelming feeling of joy when I woke up on New Year's Eve, because our New Year's Eve was fucking hell. Ed and I went to hell and back on New Year's Eve emotionally, just through we ran the gamut. And then New Year's Day, it's like we had this horrible day, but then we went to bed listening to good stuff. And when I woke up on New Year's Day, I felt so good. And Spirit said, go look in your bank account. And I was like, what? And I looked and there was money in there. And I'm like, oh my God, they really came through. I'm like, we all, you know, I'm like, if you had the stimulus before, if you're still there, like you got money. And so I was like, oh my gosh. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, yeah, you know. And that's the kind of stuff that Spirit wants us to, it doesn't matter how it got there or who put it there or what happened. It's like, they want us to realize like when we really like get to that point that we feel like, you know, we're about to burst, that's when we're about to have a major breakthrough. So ride the wave of it. Like when I talked about earlier with the dolphin, like ride the wave of it, ride the wave, even if it sucks, like cry, get it out, whatever, release it, then let it go. Because once you let that go, then something good's going to come in. And they want us to believe that now, because that is what 2021 is all about. It's like, look, the first card out, we got cornucopia. you know, and we've got archangels in here like talking to us, telling us like that everything's okay, but they're also saying like we have to let go of things that no longer serve us. We have to, you know, have patience. So 1914 angel number. We have to have patience, right? Because once we do, and we start doing all the things that we were brought here to do, the doors of opportunity will fly open to us, and it's on the way we look at it. It's on the way we look at it. Is there any more messages, Spirit? Any more messages for any more energy for us to work on or concentrate on for 2021 out of this deck? Okay. Nope. There we go. Yay. Thank you, energy deck. Thank you, Spirit. Oh, wow. Ooh. They're saying just keep this one. They're telling me to keep this one out for us to look at. Okay. So you can see it. It doesn't matter. Oh, my candle went out. Can you see it? I want to get a candle. There we go. Cornucopia. Cornucopia. It's not perfect, but you get the gist, right? Cornucopia. We'll keep it there as our little mascot. Thank you, energy deck. Hold on. Oh, take a break if you need to. I'm going to take a break. I'll be right back. Okay, I took a break and getting cold in here because it's getting darker out. I've been trying not to run our heat as much during the day because we got our electric bill and we're like, oh my gosh, like it's the highest it's ever been. We used to have this really cool oil heater that it took up energy, but not as much as my beautiful sister Cameo let us borrow her heater, and we've been using that and this other space heater we have. And I think hers is good because hers is more modern, but the other one is like came with Big Camper when we got it. It's really old, and we think it sucks a lot of energy. So until we find the right thing, we've been trying not to run the heat that much during the day. And it was really nice for a little while. It was like almost 50 degrees out, so I was just like, oh, it's fine, I'm fine. All of a sudden I was like, okay, it's cold. I may have to turn the heater on in a minute, but yeah, it was shocking. It was like a boing, eyes out of our head shocking. And I was like, because we also changed. We used to pay by the month here, and now we pay by the week. That was like our agreement and everything, which is fine. We're okay with it. But I was laughing the other day. I go, between the electricity and the rent, I'm like, we could be renting a house. Like, I know it'll come when it's time, but lately I've just been like, fuck. Anyway, back to center, back to grounded energy. We are hearing from the witch's wisdom. What do our beautiful witches, what do our witch family, ooh, look at that cool, do you see that red light right there? Oh, the way that's going off. Cool. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Michael. I feel like we're being divinely protected right now. Look at that light. They told me to turn that light on, but I have no idea. So, okay. What messages, Spirit, do we need to hear? Okay, that was... It's one I have trouble pronouncing. But what we can look forward to this year is prosperity. I will actually get the definition of this and the name of it and put it below because I struggle with this one. You know, some words, it's like if you struggle with it, and then you know it's a mental thing, right? Because it's like, but all of a sudden you're like, you can pronounce it, but when you really need to pronounce it, it just can't come to you. Okay. So, I'm just going to explain it to you right now. Let's see if they have a pronunciation for it. I think we tried doing this before. Here's Wikipedia. Let's see if I can... Okay, so... Lunessa. Yeah, I think it's the some of the letters that mess with me, but it's Lunessa. Lunessa. I think that's how it is. It's a Gaelic festival marking the beginning of the harvest season. Historically, it was widely observed throughout Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. In modern Irish, it is called Lunasa. In Scottish Gaelic, and then it goes on and on with all these different things. But it's August 1st, okay? So it's about halfway between summer solstice and the autumn equinox. But in recent centuries, some of the celebrations shifted to the Sunday nearest to the date. But anybody who practices pagan, whatever, the Celtic, culturally speaking, most people would observe it on August 1st, no matter what day of the week it is, right? Like, that's like such an Americanized thing. I don't know if other countries have done it too, but to me it feels very Americanized. So anyway, so prosperity. And I find it interesting. Spirit is actually drawing our attention to it because, we've got another eclipse season coming up, and I believe it's through Gemini season. It's like through May and June. We're having another season of eclipse. So there's a lot, like basically we had the 12/12 portal, and then we had, the age of Aquarius coming in and everything. But we're going to have a really, when that happened on winter solstice, like, it's not an accident that it happened on solstice. Now you have to remember, it's winter and summer at the same time. It just depends on which part of the hemisphere you're living on, right? And it's all about the direction of like the planet and how it's tilted towards the sun or away from the sun. So I'm really excited about what's coming, because everything I've been feeling and everything I've been reading about or watching, readings or videos, is that when the next summer solstice where I live in the northern hemisphere, and then the winter solstice for the southern hemisphere, in that next 6-month period is when a lot of change is going to take place. And I believe by August 1st, we're all going to really see that prosperity. We're really, really going to see like the changes in our governments, on the planet, in people. A lot is going to happen. Sadly, I don't like to do the doom and gloom, but I am going to tell you that I do unfortunately feel like there are going to be some things that are going to take place between now and the next 8 months, for sure, possibly even the next few years. But we're going to have some gross moments. We're going to have some things that are going to come to the surface. We're going to have some ugly things that are going to happen in humanity that are going to just really freak people out to the point where they're going to But this is the time for us to really know who we are. This is the time to hone into our witch's wisdom, right? The next card is, the cloak, the concealment. This is when things are going to come out from underneath concealment, right? We're going to see a lot happen. So prosperity. They want me to read the card, though. Prosperity. Oh, I opened right up to it. Yay! Sunny days are here at last. Time to feast, no need to fast. Celebrate, sing, dance, and leap. Harvest in, 'tis yours to reap. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be, there it is done. Lunasa brings great tidings of prosperity. Your planted seeds have grown into an abundant crop, and now the harvest has been reaped. A time of opportunity and good fortune is upon you. Everything is going your way. The venture you put your heart and soul into, in whatever form, is ready to flourish. Your dreams have been answered, and your spells for good fortune are ripe for the picking. Success is yours, and like a true alchemist, everything you touch right now turns to gold. So don't let a single opportunity pass you by, for you are supported as you walk your rightful path. This is what you've been waiting to hear. So enjoy every moment, and remember to appreciate and bless everything that comes your way. Your days of famine are no more. It's time to reap the rewards and feast upon the good you have created as Lunasa shines upon you. Witch's Foresight says, what you have wished for will flourish into fruition. You are rewarded for your hard work. Don't give up, for success is just around the corner. Your positive attitude and gratitude leads to good fortune. Prosperous circumstances surround you. You reap what you sow. And the Lunasa Revealed says, our ancestors implemented the cycle of crops and understood how they reflected the human cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. Yes, 2021, baby. This harvest marks the gathering in of the grains and celebrates the sun god, Lu, who is cut down in his glory only to rise again next year. This is a time for feasting, a time of plenty, and for acknowledging the cycle of life, death, and rebirth. It's also on page 63. They had me bring to that. And remember, we talked about the number 9 earlier, but it was the number 36. Woo, woo, that's powerful. That's powerful. Hold on, I'm getting a download, and I just want to see. Okay. All right. So keep going, keep going, keep going. Okay. So what other messages from the witch's wisdom? Yay, good things are coming for us, y'all. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. They're coming. Okay. Knock 3 times on the do. Oh, it's the book. I'm like, what feels weird in here? But it was because I was holding the book. I knew there was something. Oh, look at that. Watchtower of the North right on the bottom. Winter. And we are in that right now, right? And look at the triple spiral on the bottom. Work with the triple spiral energy. Since they drew my attention to it, I mean, obviously anything on this card that you're drawn to, look it up. But because they said that, look up the triple spiral. Winter. The Watchtower of the North. Ooh, that's interesting. They flip themselves. Sometimes they do that where it's like, see, it's like half this and... Alright, but I'm going to turn it back that way so that we know. Okay, okay. This one's next, right on top. Okay. So, the Watchtower of the North. Winter's hard, but you'll survive as Crone strips you while still alive. The season's magic is laid bare, new wisdom's found within to share. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be, there it is done. The witch's wisdom is calling upon the guardians and gatekeepers of the North. The season of winter brings you its gifts steeped in magic and mystery as it works in conjunction with the element of earth. By visiting the Watchtower of the North, you are being called to go deep within to rest and recharge whilst earth nurtures and restores you. The North will assist you with all aspects of home, life, security, and the nurturing that you require. Connect with the crone aspect of the triple goddess as you journey with the god in elder form inwards and face that which you have ignored for too long, right? What is that stuff that's in the past that you keep wanting to go back to, right? That's exactly what they're talking about. They were showing me the elephant again, getting stuck in the mud. Okay. Allow winter to freeze out any unwanted behaviors, situations, or addictions you have been holding on to, stripping you bare within the dark chambers of winter's tomb. The color black represents the element of earth and should be used in accordance with your magical workings at the time of midnight. Winter shares its wisdom in association with the card that flanks this one. So look at that. So your prosperity. So maybe for some of you, you know, this is the time, you know, going inward, you're going to figure out how to get to that prosperous situation. Take a minute, take a break, take a breather. You need to. There's a reason why you're, you know, there's a reason for it. The witch's foresight. You're going through a dark night of the soul. Yes, surrender and release. Persist. The rewards will be so life-changing. You are metamorphosizing. We had the card, literally. I'm getting the chills. You remember the metamorphosizing card? Yes. Oh, rest and rejuvenate. The ancestors are connecting with you. Invoke your dark side with harm to none. Yes. If you're going to go in and do shadow work, don't drag anybody down there with you. Even if you have somebody like, you know, you feel like did something to you or whatever, it's like when someone comes into your mind and you're like, they did me wrong, or I'm angry with them, or I don't like the way they left things with me, or I don't like the way they spoke to me. It's not about you. It's whatever they were going through at the time. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. Let it go. It's part of the 4 agreements. And if you haven't read the 4 agreements yet, I highly suggest you do. You could probably get it at your library. See if you can, you know, if you have the means to do so, order yourself a copy. There's used copies online too. Okay, because a lot of you, I love you, but I've been getting a lot of, I can't afford this, or I don't have money for that, or I don't blah, blah, blah. But you're doing that. That's part of keeping yourself in victim mode. I know what I said earlier about myself, but what I realize is every time, like, I did have money, and like, I am fine. Like, things are fine. Things always come when I want them to. It's just me, it's the patience on my end, I know for myself, where I just want it now, and I'm powerful, and I'm like, why can't I have it now? And again, it's like, that's the ego trying to think that we know better than our higher self. There's still stuff that we need to see. There's still stuff that we have to uncover. And we're going to keep talking about these things until we fully pull that, you know, that cloth back and look underneath what's under that table. You know, you may have been looking at that table for the longest time and it's got this gorgeous tablecloth, but you're like, I wonder what the table looks like underneath it. You'll never know if you don't take the tablecloth off. I have no idea why they gave you that analogy, but there you go. Woo, that was crazy. So, which is foresight? You're going through a dark night of soul, surrender and release, blah, 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 blah. Okay, so watchtowers of the North revealed. Hail and welcome, guardians of the North Star. This is a time of the ancestors. The power of earth connects us to our wisdom and understanding of the old ways. The goddess integrates and becomes the aspect of crone as the god embraces the wisdom of the elder. Pentacle protects this quarter. So work with the pentacle. Work with the pentacle, the shape of it. It's interesting too how this that's the pentacle, right? But when the card's upside down, it's more like a pentagram. I like how they did that with these cards. It's all in the way you look at it, right? It's all in the way you look at it. It's all in the way you look at it. It's like it could be something for good, it could be something for evil. It's all in the way you look at it. Oh, and they sent me to look at the next one. Oh, yay! Mabon, balance. Well, and you know what's really cool about that is, so it's interesting. They didn't go in order, but it's like they wanted to start on a high note, right, with prosperity. So they're asking us right now, I just want to make sure it's still going, to go inward right now, to work with our dark night of the soul, to work with our ego, to work with the things that are holding us back. That's all 3D. That's what 3D is, right? Is that kind of energy. The 5D is knowing that we are loved, knowing that we are prosperous, knowing that we are magic, knowing that things are going to work out. Right? So we keep getting the half-assed. I said that to Ed last night. I'm like, I go, you know what? We are kind of lying to ourselves. I'm like, because we still need to work on this and we still need to work on that. And we got really honest with ourselves about it. And then I woke up this morning and I had kind of another renewed sense of like, okay, well, let's start again. Because every day, that's the gift we have, is the next day is a new day. My mom always says the next day isn't promised to us, right? It's not. But we can, even in that day, you can start out having a shitty day, and some people are like, oh, it's par for the course, my day's been going shitty all day. Well, if you're in this energy of my day is going to go shitty all day, then your day is going to go shitty all day. You just set the intention, so your day will be shitty all day. But if you have something that happens in the morning that you're like, whoa, and it sets you back, then you take a minute, you take a breath, you deal with it, and either you don't go out into the world at all because it's so devastating, you need to work through it. You don't want to take it out and drive like a tornado out into the world, bringing your low vibration out into the world. No, you stay home and you deal with it, right? Or you move past it and you're like, it can only go up from here, right? It's all in the way you look at it. It's all in the way you look at it. So we're going to use that winter energy. But then look at that. We got Lunessa, which is August 1st. And that's that halfway point, right, between summer solstice. And right now, for some of you, you are in summer solstice. So maybe this is, for you guys, but for some of us, it's specific, like August 1st. But then the next card is Mabon, which is all about balance. And it's interesting. I was getting a download. So Mabon is the fall equinox. That's what Mabon is. So it's like we've got winter, and I'm sure summer will come in there at some point, or it won't. I don't know. But they're like, well, it did, I guess, because I was talking about no, because that's still spring. So that is summer. Oh, spring. Oh, that's what you were trying to say to me. Spring, spring, spring. They're like that is what Vanessa is in the summer. I'm like, oh, right. So we haven't had spring yet, but. Wait, hold on 1 second. Hold the phone. Okay, sorry. Well, not sorry. Just a lot of stuff was coming through. So Mabon is autumn equinox, right? But earlier, when I was going to put the energy cards away, I thought it was really interesting that this card, or two cards fell out, and then they said to wait. And then they said I would know when. I thought it was you'll understand the other card, but this one is, they wanted me to pull this out right now and show you, right? Because it's all about balance. But also to remind you guys that this is your soul contract. Number 6, look up angel number 6. This is in your soul contract. You came here to do this. This is part of your work. So working on yourself is part of your work, because every time you work on yourself, you're bringing others into light, right? Because even if you tell one person, or you work with one person and share your experiences with one person, you're teaching, right? So we're all teachers and we're all students. So I just got really strong vibes around this, about the balance. And it also could be for some of you are Libra, or maybe you're dealing with a Libra, because that's the symbol for justice as well. So oh, okay. So by Mabon, by autumn equinox, we will have had our justice. Our justice will be coming to fruition. Okay. And then also when I went to pause that, I went to move the deck and these two cards flipped up and I stuck them in the book so that I wouldn't. These cards are slippery. Oh, they're so cute. Watchtower of the South, which is the summer. It's so funny. So, right? So it's like, it's kind of like they're trying to show us like winter solstice and summer solstice, right? They coexist together. They coexist together, but we've got the Watchtower of the North and the Watchtower of the South. Also, the Watchtower of the North, that light just pierced through. Thank you so much, Shemuel. So for some of you, work with Archangel Shemuel, or maybe you normally work with them. So look them up. But also what I got was Uriel, because Uriel is the Archangel of the North, and then Michael, of course, is our Archangel of the South. Did you see how that powerful? I couldn't really see, but I can kind of... So call on Archangel Michael, right? And use the archangels when you're using the directions. We're going to read the Watchtower of the South because they want you to hear that about the summer. So this will, remember I was just saying how we're kind of going from one solstice to another, from winter to summer and summer to winter, depending on where you live. Okay, Watchtower of the South. Ignite the flames of summer and know you are the power, the sacred glow. Love and passion stirred and invoked. Abundance is yours now, the fire is stoked. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be, there it is done. The witch's wisdom says, calling upon the guardians and gatekeepers of the South. The season of summer brings you love as it works in conjunction with the elements of fire. By visiting the Watchtower of the South, you are being assisted in awakening your Kundalini energy through lust, attraction, and desire. Strength and power fuels the motivating life force energy that ignites your inner flame. The South will accompany you as you walk your path with vitality and vigor. Connect with the mother aspect of the triple goddess. Ooh, that's the second time. See, triple goddess, triple spiral. We need to work with that energy, the triples. And we had our very first card, thank you, Spirit, was the sparking of joy was 33. So there's obviously something there with the triple, or with 3, you know. They're saying if it could have been card number 333, it would have been, but that's all they had in the deck. That's the closest they can get, but you get it, right? Love it. Love it. Thank you, Spirit. The South will accompany you as you walk your path with vitality and vigor. Connect with the mother aspect of the triple goddess and the father god who brings everything you've worked hard for. Your work is done. Time to have fun and enjoy the abundance that summer bestows upon you. The color red represents the element of fire and should be used in accordance with your magical workings at the time of noon. Summer breathes renewed passion into your association with the card that flanks this one. Summer breathes renewed passion into your association with the card that flanks this one. Okay, so since technically this one was so it's about balance. So it's saying summer breathes renewed passion into your association with the card. So it's going to, summer breathes renewed passion into your balance. So for some of us, whether you're in the northern or southern hemisphere during, you know, we just went past our solstice, right? So Spirit is saying to bring that inner balance or during this time until the next one is when we will finally be in our true balance. Our true balance. Like that's what they wanted me to say, our true balance. And then the last card, because I believe we're done with the witch's wisdom. No, we're not, but wait till you see it. You're going to love it so much. So the next one is the moon cycles. Okay, so listen. The moon cycles are really important to us, tribe. Very important to us. I'm going to tell you something. I've had this deck for quite some time now. And though I may have seen this card, I think it's really powerful that I don't remember ever reading it. But I think it's really powerful that, again, my eye was drawn to the triple spiral on the bottom, but also the triple of the moons, right? Like, look at, there's 3 different, like, visuals of the moon. So look up the triple moon as well, because that's another energy. But I want to show you guys something. Hold on one second. Okay, so wait, hold on one second. Hold on. Okay, and as I paused, I saw angel number 1334. Okay, so a great way to work with the moons, with the cycles, with the moon cycles, is by getting a calendar. Now, there are moon cycle calendars out there. If you can afford to buy a really nice moon cycle calendar, I highly recommend you get one. I've seen tons of them all over Amazon. Go on Etsy, try and, if you can, try and support local, or, that kind of thing. But if you're like myself, I had the money to do it at the time when I was really excited about it, because I'd always wanted to buy one of those lunar calendars. I was like, oh, I finally want to have one of those so I can like really, really follow and see like how my body, like, kind of journal or whatever. Spirit was like, no. I was in a local discount store. I got this for $1.50. It's brand new. I mean, it's nothing fancy, right? It's just, paper or whatever. But the beauty of it is it's really big like this. So I can actually go in and write down. Now they have like here, like they have some of the moon cycles here, but I want a daily one, right? To like kind of see like where the moon is. And I thought it was really interesting that not only that, but they're big enough squares that I can like write something in it, but also there's notes on the side. Like if I want to like say, hey, this is how I felt when it was, a half crescent moon, or this is how like, what is, and maybe keep a journal. Maybe keep a journal of it. But I thought for myself personally that I wanted to give myself a challenge to go online, because there's so many, I'm trying to get in a better light. There's so many light workers out there that do special stuff like that, So go and look up like lunar calendars, or I think there's one called moonphase.com. NASA does it. But, find whatever one feels good for you. Like find a source that feels comfortable for you, and go into each month and like write it on your calendar, so that you can, then that way it's like you'll be more cognizant of it. I actually realized that I'm like, oh shoot, I was supposed to start that. I'm like, it's the 3rd. So I'm like, I'm 3 days behind already, But by actually doing it, I know I'm going to gain more from it, because I'm actually putting the work into it. It's like people who, you can read the book or you can read the Cliff Notes. It's like the best parts of the book. It's like they take out the, just put in the best parts. You don't have to read the whole book, but it's like, but sometimes you want to read about them taking that next step, or, having that pause or whatever. So whatever works for you. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I personally find that when I do things like all the way through, in terms of like not kind of cheat the edges, I get more from it. I'm going to retain the information more if I do it myself. So that's just for me. But if you want to get a moon calendar and you got other things you're focusing on, but you just want to, then do it. I just think it'd be really good for all of us to do that. So anyway, let us see. So I'm going to read the moon cycles. They're also asking me to come back to this one other card. I know this is going a little bit longer than I wanted it. Again, it just like opens itself. But that's okay, because there's a lot of information here. We're still going to go over the Archetypes deck. I'll probably come in and do some timestamps for like the decks or whatever. So, because I know it's a lot to like watch all at once. Even when I'm done with it, sometimes I'm like I feel like I got the crap beat out of me because it was such a long, but it's awesome. It's awesome too. I love it too. Okay, moon cycles. Drink of the moon on this fine night with loving heart and open sight. Aware of the cyclical ways, be at one with every phase. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be, there it is done. The witch's wisdom says, after an arduous journey, moon appears to indicate that you are coming to the end of a phase. Cycles begin and end and begin again, but in a new form. Hello, metamorphosis, butterfly. Patterns repeat until the lessons have been fully understood and learned, right? What was I saying about keep going back in until you get what you need? As you step into this new phase, be expectant and full of anticipation, for you will not wish to go over old ground again. New opportunities await, so be vigilant. Outcomes lie in your hands. Call down the moon as she embraces you in her soft, luminous glow. Bathe under the pure feminine and restorative energy she immerses you with. Recharge your working crystals under her full presence and go sky-clad in honor of the triple goddess who watches over you as the moon rules your emotions. Never forget that she also lives within you as you work in conjunction with her phases, honoring at all times your new, full, and dark aspects of maiden, mother, and crone. And even though the maiden, mother, and crone come off as like women. It's just about the energy. So it doesn't matter whatever gender that you know, align with, or maybe you align with multiple genders. Either way, it's just, just the feminine divine energy. And we've been talking about that, how, you know, we have the white alpha wolf, that divine feminine energy that's really leading the way this year, which is why a lot of things are crumbling and whatever. You know, it's like the mom, you know, and now mind you, this isn't atypical. This isn't every family, but you know how they say, like, usually the moms are more compassionate, you know, and they hold space for you, but you can't pull anything over on them. Where like the dad, you know, is like, maybe he's not around as much, so he's like, oh, it's okay. And he looks the other way a little bit more, you know, maybe in your house it's the other way around. But, and just, you know what I'm saying? It's like that kind of like, I'm looking at it as like a patriarchal, matriarchal energies. And so if you look at it like that, it's like, so now we're going to have more compassion. We're going to be holding more space for people. It's not going to be so woo-woo to be loving, and, you know, because it was like, be a man, you should be this, and this patriarchal kind of like, you know, controlling energy of how we don't need emotions, take emotions out, because if you put emotions in, then people look at things differently, right? They're like, oh, that could happen to me. So then they're a little more sensitive to somebody else's plight, right? So that's kind of what I got from that. That's really powerful. So the Witch's Foresight says, open up to your receptive feminine side. Your emotions are ruled by the moon phases. Harness the moon's energy and understand her phases for your magical work. Work in conjunction with the triple goddess. The moon revealed. Ancient civilizations used the moon to scry with and to predict weather patterns. The oceans of the world, cycles of nature, emotions, birds, and animals are all affected by the moon. From the new moon waxing to the full moon to the waning moon, plants and herbs, as well as spell casting, are all affected by and worked with each lunar phase. Yeah, right? So, you know, it's like, I've talked about this before, but, you know, you hear this all the time, how doctors, you know, ER doctors talk about how the emergency room is like crazy on a full moon. You know, it's just so interesting how people try to look the other way, and now they're realizing, like, yes, we are, like, everything's ruled by astrology, like everything's ruled by the universe. Like, it's not just like our planet or our galaxy. It's like, it's everything. It's symbiotic. It's like, it's all one thing. You know, it's like, we can say it's multidimensional, but at the same time, it's just all one thing. It's just how we perceive it in our knowledge at the time, at our level of consciousness, but it's all going. It's everlasting all the time, all at once. So I think the moon cycles will bring us into more of a more solidified energy of a more grounding energy for ourselves. And so we can, you know, I'm going to do it. Let's do it. Let's do it as a collective, you know, for 2021. Let's keep a, you know, if it feels right to you, if this message aligns with you, keeping a 2021 moon journal to see how we are affected by the moons. I think it'll be really interesting to do. So I was, again, you know, when I said that there were 2 cards, look at what the last one is. Did I not say? I'm like, I'm surprised we didn't get spring if we're going to go there. So yay. So now we're kind of like understanding like what's going on with these energies. So let's hear what the springtime has to say. And also, there's a reason why we're ending on spring. We're in winter now in the Northern Hemisphere, but hold on. We are entering the springtime of our life. Spirit's so cute, but we are entering the springtime of our life. The springtime of our life. Oh, which is the east. Oh, and remember in Lord of the Rings and at the Return of the King, when Gandalf, they were like, we can't fight them by ourselves. We need help. And he's like, I will go for help. And he's like, look for me at the last day of the blah, blah, blah. Look to the east. And as the sun rises, he's like, help will be on its way. And if you remember in the movie, it's the sun rising in the east that blinds the enemy. When they all look to the east and they see Gandalf, at first they just see Gandalf, right? But then all of a sudden you see, like, I don't remember if the army comes up first or the sun comes up, but either way, it's like you see like I think the army comes behind them and they're like, oh shit, and they're like, yay, cool, we have help, you know, but oh shit, it was the bad guys. They're like, oh wow, where did they come from, you know? And now he's not Gandalf the Grey, he's Gandalf the White, right? Like, so it's like he went from the 3D to the 5D. It's a great analogy really right now. I'm just going with it, right? But if you look at it like that, it's kind of like that, where, you know, then when the enemy looks over and sees, you know, Gandalf and sees the army behind him, all of a sudden the sun comes up and they're blind because it's so bright coming up. It's at the very, it's just coming over that ridge, and it's when it's at its brightest moment before it can get high in the sky. And so they're blinded for a minute and they charge in, and, you know, and the rest is history. So, you know, oh, I just got the chills. So look to the east, look to the spring, right? And even if you're in the southern hemisphere, you know, it's like it's still looking to the east. Like, look, you know, the sun will rise again. The sun is going to rise. So looking for that light, you know, at the end of the tunnel, that light at the end of the tunnel, right? It may feel like we don't know what's going on, but we just have to move things a little bit for it to be illuminated. That's so powerful. Thank you, Spirit. 'Tis the first stirring of spring, new beginnings doth east bring. Drink of what it represents, purity, growth, and expectance. This magic is worked with harm to none, so mote it be, there it is done. Calling the guardians and gatekeepers of the east, the season of the spring brings you fresh ideas as it works in conjunction with the element of air. By visiting the watchtower of the east, you are being assisted in your journeying work through By visiting the Watchtower of the East, you are being assisted in your journeying work through meditation and connection with the astral plane. Inspiration, creativity, and aspiration grace you. The East will assist with writings, tests, poetry, communication, and intelligence. Now is the time to connect with the god in its boyhood and the maiden aspect of the triple goddess. Again, the triple goddess. To plant your seeds and dream big so that the guardians of the East can usher in all that is needed for you to achieve your goals. The color yellow represents the element of air and should be used in accordance with your magical workings at dawn. Spring heralds new beginnings for you in association with whichever card flanks this one. So interesting that Spirit is having us. I mean, there are no accidents, right? Like, we're working with all of these. We've got spring, winter, we've got summer, and fall for Mabon, right? And then what's out here? Lunessa, bringing us prosperity. So work with, and then they're saying for victory. This was the other one that fell out. Number 28, victory. The victory is ours. The victory is ours. You know, this year, a lot of things are going to happen. So, you know, take from these what you need, leave behind what you don't. I think it's interesting that the winter one fell. So I'm going to leave that out for a minute. Let me see, is there any other cards that wanted more, wanted any clarifiers? So we want any, let me see if there are any of these cards that anyone needs a clarifier on, like in terms of, okay, prosperity. Well, prosperity, it comes in all forms. That's what they just said. Right? Didn't we read this card? Oh, it's upside down. Oh, it's upside down. They said to look at it upside down. Oh, look at that. Yeah, it looks like a headdress. Doesn't it look like a headdress? That's beautiful. Oh my gosh. Yes. So dig down deep with the ancestors. For some of you, if that was your question just now, indigenous medicine. It could be Mayan, it could be Native American, it could be Aboriginal. It depends on whichever one like feels good to you. And again, we're talking Northern Hemisphere, Southern Hemisphere, but this is very like, I'm getting very tribal. So if this means maybe, you know, working more in that energy. And if you're interested, one of the shamans that I worked with, Layla Lee, she's an amazing Native American shaman, though she works with a lot of different energies, entities, you know, witches, whatever, a lot of different things. Native American is definitely her thing, Cherokee, and she works with the peace pipe. So if that's something you're interested in, or if that's something that's been coming to you, or if you've been wanting to work with a different guru outside of me and you want to go more towards indigenous medicine, I highly suggest you work with her. She's not like anybody I've ever worked with, and each person that I've ever seen her work with, or anything that I know about her, she's completely different with each person. It's never ever the same, which is kind of cool. So, you know, you're gonna have whatever medicine whatever you need, she's gonna pull out of you. It's really powerful. So, yeah. So we're going to go on to the archetypes, but I'm going to pause 1 second. Okay, so we're at almost 2 hours. We hung in there though. I'm losing light. I'm losing light. Can you guys see me? Maybe I should go more this way. I guess I could just change. There's my cocoon hips. I guess I could just... Anyway, as long as you can see the card, I don't care if you can see me. It doesn't really matter. Anyway, so here is what archetypes. Ooh, I wasn't sure. Ooh, I just got the chills. Into the great wide open, right? A rebel without a clue. Well, we do have a clue now, don't we? We have more than a clue of what we need to work on or what to work with. So let's see what archetypes that we want to work with, or excuse me, what archetype spirit wants us to work with in 2021. This is going to be super, super exciting. If you've been on this channel before, or other readers, I'm sure you've seen this deck, the Wild Unknown Archetypes. Great deck. Archetypes, research archetypes. I mean, it's basically, humans are like a formula. We're like a science experiment, right? We're just like a big science experiment. And archetypes are just energies that we work from, right? The father archetype, the mother archetype, the child archetype, the shaman archetype, you know, whichever one we're meant to there's so many different archetypes. So for 2021 spirit, what archetypes are we to focus on, work on? What archetypes are going to come into our lives? Any and all of the above. I know you'll tell me what it means when it comes through. So, okay, this one came out. Ooh, two at the same time. I felt these right away. So we've got the Lover and the Judge. Oh, and I love this because, you know, it's like, are you the lover or are you the judge? Are you judging yourself? Are you judging others? Where is the judgment? What's going on there? Also, this one is 14. Ooh, that's interesting. 14 and 41 kept coming up for my friend the other day. And this one is 17. So the Judge and the Lovers. The Judge was the first one, so I'm going to go there first. The Judge. Ooh, almost opened up to it. The Critic, the Diplomat, the Advocate. Okay, okay. So they're saying, don't forget, these are the archetypes that we're going to not just be us, but like the archetypes that we're going to be dealing with. So keep that in the forefront of your mind as well, because remember when they were talking about patience and how we're going to be dealing with people from the 3D and then like us in our 5D consciousness energy. So they also want you, when you're, to remember that these are the archetypes that we're going to be dealing with. So the Critic, the Diplomat, the Advocate. The Judge has an incredibly important job. They work every waking hour of every day, helping us discern what is safe, true, and just. When this archetype remains unconscious or is captivated by fear, wise discernment turns into painful judgment of self and other. Ironically, the Judge's energy can be the seed of racism, bigotry, and fear-mongering. This is the Judge out of balance, building walls, separating from other. When this same discerning force is made conscious and healed, however, the Judge may be found advocating for civil rights causes, standing up for the underdog, and providing resources for those in need, and forgiving again and again. Love is the deciding factor. Awakening this archetype is essential for the complex times that we are in. Get your Judge in order. The world needs it. Wow, that was powerful. There was like so many messages in one message. Like, I don't know if you guys like felt what I felt. That was really powerful. Now it says when we are in light, we are discernment, we are advocacy, we are in the right action, we are compassionate. But when we are on the dark side of the Judgment card, we are critical, we are punishing and unforgiving and wall building. We all know who that was for. But not just for him, right? Not just for him, right? Because he's not the only one. There's other places in the world that people, it's not just, and it's a metaphor really. We're building walls between ourselves, like energetically. I mean, even now, it's like some people can look at this pandemic as a bad thing. Yes, of course, we miss talking to people, hugging people, touching people. But it's like the sickness is in a 3D energy for whatever reason. Whoever gets this, it's like they have a reason why they contacted COVID. There's a gazillion reasons why. There are even people right now who are being paid to say that a common cold is COVID. There are celebrities who are being paid to be like, I got sick, but look at me, I got better. It's like people will do anything to make a buck. The darkness, the ugliness, so much shit is going to be revealed. You don't even know. I have been like, looking at certain things where I'm like, I almost don't want to go there, but then spirit will bring me there. But then I'm seeing so many things where I'm like, oh my gosh. And there was this couple, I don't know who they are. They're maybe a reality show. I don't know. I don't follow certain things. All I know is that I was looking for something else and I saw this picture of this couple and I was like, oh my God, they are so putting on, they're not even sick. And I was like, what? I was like, nothing. And I just like kind of moved on. And then later on, I kind of saw him again. And so I just like had to laugh to myself because I realized I'm like, they're not sick. They're those people that I'm not going to call them bottom feeders, even though I did hear that, but it's not them. It's a bottom feeder energy that's like, they're not sure what to do and they don't want to lose their money or they don't want to lose their fame, their accolades or whatever it is. So they'll do whatever it is that they need to do to, even if it is selling out, to get to what they want. And so this next year, it's going to be about, last year, 2020 was, my word for 2020 was integrity. 2021 is grace and gratitude with discipline, right? And so some of these people, they're not used to, like maybe they're disciplined in terms of like, they'll go to the gym and they'll, make sure that they look really great because it's all on the outside, right? It's a facade. It's all on like how the way they look. But on the inside, they're a mess. They need a major makeover and they need a major, overhaul, spiritually, consciously speaking. But until they get there, people are going to be doing what they know, what they feel, what they think is in their greatest and highest good. But this has given us a lot of time to ourselves and with our loved ones to really like see who we are and get to the bottom of it, right? And when we see what we don't like, that's when our inner critic, like for me, it's like, yeah, I mean, at first when I saw it, because I can't help it, I'm a human bullshit barometer. People don't even have to open their fucking mouths. I just look at them and I get a lot of information, up front. And then when they open their mouth, sometimes I'm just like, I don't even have to say anything. I'm like, everybody knows what you're doing or saying, But, and I don't say that, again, I say that with soul knowledge, not arrogance, but, it's like, it's an example. Spirit wanted me to see that, to say this to you guys, like to be really mindful of the wolves in sheep's clothing, because we're going to see a shitload of that. On the flip side of that, I've seen some celebrities that I'm like, oh my God, I love them. And I love that they've like completely like peeled back, whatever. And they're like, this is who I really am. And if you don't like it, like tough fucking shit, like I don't really care. And it's like, good, because that's what we need. We need people to be real right now. They're asking me to read this side note. And it says, Gandhi had an incredibly illuminated inner judge. He was a lawyer. Yeah, I don't know if you guys know that, but Gandhi was a lawyer before he became a guru. He practiced silence one day a week in order to hone his discernment while on his revolutionary path. So I had this friend one time, Roxanne. Oh gosh, I miss Roxanne. She's what an amazing force of energy. Beautiful light, beautiful artist. But anyway, Roxanne, I don't remember how it came about, but they were telling me how they went on this retreat and they were excited to go back again or whatever, because they did this retreat where they didn't speak for a long time. I think it's like 7 days or something, like nothing. They don't say a word to anything or anyone at all. And just how much they learned from that. And I thought, wow, that's so powerful. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to see if I can go one full day without speaking. Just like one, that's going to be a challenge to myself. So you don't have to do it, but that is a great way, right? Just to have one day, like, maybe it is like on some people, they feel like Sunday, maybe it's Tuesday for you, whatever your Sunday is, depending on your schedule. Maybe you work for yourself and you're like, you know what, tomorrow I'm just going to turn my phone off and I'm not going to talk to anybody and I'm not going to say a word to anybody. I'm just not going to speak. That's a really powerful thing. That's a really wonderful commitment to yourself. And if you can, I would even try and go so far as like not to watch a lot of things either. Like maybe play music that doesn't have a lot of words. Maybe it's just you're listening to like classical all day, or maybe you like, meditative music or whatever. And those days you paint, you draw, you cook, no speaking, no singing, just observing. See if you could do that. I'm going to work on that myself. Okay, so this is the next one, but they said, don't forget we have the Lover. Okay. Oh, but they said don't go to the Lover yet. Yay, okay, that's kind of fun. They said, oh, we don't have to read the other side of the Judge. Go to this one. Oh, the Queen, number 11. That's our second 11. The Queen. So this is the archetype. And what are we saying? The Divine Feminine. That is like our main energy this year. This is the driving force. And again, Queen can mean anything. It's just, it stands for the representation of the feminine divine. So, work with your inner queen. It doesn't matter what gender you are. Work with your inner queen. And also look at this lotus. Lotus flowers are so beautiful because they grow out of the mud. They grow out of a murky, dark place. Bring your queen to the surface, right? And look at her. She's got this snake. It's not tight around her. It's not. It's very loose. It trusts her. It trusts the process. And snakes are all about transformation. So is the number 5, which is the number of this year. So work with that queen energy. That is our guiding archetype. I mean, it's just so beautiful. They're saying we can read it or not read it. It's really up to us. I'm going to read it because it's pretty. I like this one a lot. The Queen, the Empress, the Mother Queen, the Sovereign. Like her counterpart, the King, the Queen has a dualistic nature. Either she presides over the realm with grace and eloquence that comes from the heavens to uplift the spirit of others, or she falls into petty, contemptuous moods, casting a shadow across the land. If the king is the ego, the queen is the expression of that ego in the world. She is the lotus bloom, the dancer's bow, the moon's radiant reflection. When the queen is seated in her rightful and righteous place, she is patient and forgiving. Patience coming up again. She waits for the grace of God and Goddess to move through her, striving and grasping for nothing. To be the benevolent leader, to embody the queen, is to settle into deep trust, resolve, and power. Resolve. And resolving inner conflict. I really got that from Spirit, resolving inner conflict. I almost feel like I want to show this other light. I don't know why, but it's like they want you to see something. Those are my blankets and my notes. They told me to show that for whatever reason. I don't know why. Oh, maybe just to bring it back to light. Maybe for me. Maybe for me. Maybe for me. Maybe for the butterfly. For transformation. Okay. The royal queen fears nothing, for divinity itself cradles her heart. When we are in light, we are the embodiment of grace, courage, resolve, and stillness. But when we are in dark, we are vain, wrathful, self-righteous, and demanding. Right? It's like, what kind of queen do you want to be? Read Cleopatra's monologue in Shakespeare's Antony and Cleopatra, Act 5. You guys, Act 5, I mean, come on. Now I have to research this too. Act 5, Scene 2, and then read about Inanna, Tara, and Hera. So, see if you can get a screenshot of that. Also, I love this money sign right here. They're like, right? Because the queen has money. She has riches beyond riches. The queen does not accept the hand of a prince, but claims the throne, knowing the king draws near. She is a magnet for the fully embodied masculine and entertains nothing else. Yes, that's really powerful, right? Well, I just got the chills. Because like we were saying, it's like, the divine masculine is struggling right now. The divine masculine on the planet is really struggling right now with this, downfall of the patriarchal energy. We need to hold space for it. Spitting on it and being mean and kicking somebody while they're down isn't going to help them, right? However this comes about, I have a really strong feeling that someday either Trump himself or a family member or somebody's going to come clean. And I feel like a lot of stuff's going to come clean. Even this election, I'm not going to lie, I think it's rigged too. I think it's all rigged. I think it was meant to go this way. But I also have a feeling that I don't think Biden's going to make it. And I think she's going to be the president. That's what I think. I think she's going to slip. I keep hearing this. I've been hearing it through songs. I saw it in a movie. I read it in a book. And something else recently where they kept talking about slipping through the back door. And then the other day I had this thing and I looked at it. I go, how I've been saying, I felt like something was going to happen to Biden. Like he was going to have a heart attack or something's going to happen. or something was going to happen to him and she was going to become the president. And he goes, yeah. And I go, yeah, because I'm like, I feel like the way that the world was when she came to be the vice president was like she was meant to be the president, but she had to go in through the back door, because if you remember, like, women and minorities were always treated like second class citizens. Like, we weren't allowed to, like, there's a scene from in Out of Africa with Meryl Streep. Watch that movie if you get a chance. If you want a really good tearjerker, it's beautiful. There's so many awesome metaphors, romance. It's got everything. Watch Out of Africa. But there's this really great moment about that, where there's like this men's lounge or whatever, and she goes to go in there. She's a farmer, but it was in a time where women weren't allowed, like, to go into, it was like the men's parlor or the men's whatever, and the women had to be with the women and the men had to be with the men. And you just see Meryl Streep just like, hey, whatever, man. Like, oh, this is where, like, oh, this is where everybody hangs out, the businessmen, the farmers or whatever. She's like, this is where I'm going to go. And you just see them all looking at her like, oh, duh, you don't belong in here. This is for the men, And she's just like, and she leaves. I don't want to give too much away, but, and it's, sometimes we have to go in through the back door, right? It's like she had to use her family's money and whatever because she couldn't do it on her own, but then she does make it on her own. And it's kind of the same thing. It's like she's the divine feminine. It's like sometimes we have to go through the back door. I hope Biden lives a long life. I hope he lives to be 120 years old. I don't wish evil on anyone, but I have this really strong feeling that somehow she is going to become the president. And I don't know if that means like he'll go and then they'll get another term and then whatever. Or I also feel like, I'm not predicting right now. I'm just telling you, like, these like movies that I've seen in my head, like multiple endings of a movie kind of thing. I also have seen where it's going to become like a world, like, political thing. So I don't think it's going to be what people, I just think there's a lot of things that are going to happen. That's all I'm going to say. But sometimes we do have to go in through the back door. And I feel like that's what's happening right now. It's like, bit by bit, and Hillary losing had to happen. Like, Hillary, like, held space for that energy, because with her losing, then it just got all these women who are like, you know what? Fuck you, I'm running for Congress. I always wanted to, why not? And you're seeing all these women who have like taken over and like in the Senate and Congress, and like all, a lot of shit's gonna change, and it's gonna keep changing. Now, it's not because we want to like squish the man down. It's not like that. It's like, no, it's like because we need to come back in with the sovereignty of the queen, but not in a pushy, like, I'm a, fuck you. It's like a no. I love you. Who's the mom? You know what I mean? Like, we need a mom, and we need someone with compassion. And I just don't believe that we have, I believe that the physical representation of a female is where things need to be right now. So there's that. So now we are going to the Lover card. I don't know if we're going to pick another one. And that one is 17, the Lover. The Lover. The Lover, the heart, the beloved, the devoted. Pulsing through the heart of the Lover is gratitude. Have you seen this? What did I say? I started this out with grace and gratitude. From now on, that is my new thing, with grace and gratitude. I thank you with grace and gratitude. I welcome you into my home with grace and gratitude, because if we send out the invitation of gratitude and grace, right? Which swans are all about grace. Look up a swan spirit animal. They're all about grace. And if you don't understand grace, research that for yourself as well. But they're going to explain it a lot here as well. Okay, so pulsing through the heart of the Lover is gratitude. The Lover appreciates and experiences the world through the senses, reveling in beauty, song, art, music, sense, and sensuality. This energy awakens at the tip of our tongue when we taste the sweetness of honey, kiss a lover, or speak gentle words to a child. The Lover's lingers in foreplay, aroused not by the getting there, but by the slow merging of self and other. Ooh, this energy is usually experienced for short periods of time, as in order to feel it, we must be fully present and awake with no expectations or rules about what should be. Rather, the Lover is in awe of what the world presents, reveling in the glorious details, grateful to savor every last drop of life's offerings. When we are in light, we are connected, we are expansive, we are devoted, and we are in awe of all life. When we are in dark, we are indulgent, we are attached, we are in attachment energy, and we are obsessed. See, we're obsessed. So obsession is the same thing as controlling, and attachment, we just talked about that. Oh, this whole thing's coming together. When you hold someone's gaze for several moments, you'll feel the lover within you awaken. It is common to seek the lover in another. The true gift is finding the lover in yourself. Yes. So if you are alone right now, like, reconnect with that part of yourself. And masturbation is important. Masturbation is important. Now, it's interesting. I say this. I am not in that phase right now, but I think it's important for us to kind of connect to ourselves. And I don't want to give too much away in my own personal life right now. But I have been finding that certain practices have been helping me so much more than the other way I used to come at that experience. Spirit wanted me to say that, so that's for somebody in particular. It also awakens that creativity, that kundalini, that sacral chakra that we talked about. It's released through orgasm, through sex, through that feeling that, and we can orgasm, women, we can orgasm through our clitoris and on the inside. We have two different places. And if you've ever had both of them at the same time, let me tell you, that'll blow your socks off. And the first time I actually did do that with me and another person, but then one time I did it with myself. I have two hands, and it was quite an amazing. And I remember like being so joyful afterwards, and like having the best orgasm ever, but also just like having this like laughter and joy where I was like, wow, I did that. Nobody did that but me. Like, I made love to myself, and I had the most amazing experience by myself. So, don't look away from sex or sexuality. It's so tied into our creativity. Trust me, it's a part of us. It needs to live to survive. And if you're part of this tribe and you're a starseed, you know that that is part of us. The creativity, the juices, getting the sexuality and all that flowing. Because we are limitless. And if not now, when? Right? If not in these bodies, like, why not? Why not experience the pleasures that were given to us? We were raised to believe that masturbation was wrong, or that we shouldn't touch ourselves, or that sex was bad, or all these things where it's only for procreation. Again, those were ways of them controlling us. So Spirit is saying, open up to your own lover, to your own grace. This side says the lover archetype is present everywhere, not just where conventional forms of pleasure and beauty are found. The lover's awe is unconditional. We are unconditional. When we start putting conditions on ourselves, that's when things start to go wrong. Let's see. Are there any more cards? That's it, you guys. We made it through. Oh my gosh. And if you made it through to this 2 hours and 11 minutes, wow, then good for you. You're amazing. If not, it's okay. If you only watch in bits and pieces, you're also amazing. But I'm saying, like, you stuck in there. You stuck in there. That's okay. We do what we can when we can. I love you so much. Thank you for being a part of this tribe. Welcome to 2021. All bets are off, you guys. This is a new time and a new place. Work on your soul consciousness. Work on your vibration. Work on your meditation. Work on your vibration. They're just going to keep saying it. I'm like, they're like putting words in and I'm saying it. Okay? So with grace and gratitude, I say I love you, and I will see you next time. Blessed be. Oh, there's that. I'll see you next time. All right.